We are going to talk now about the new SEO. We will be hearing from Amanda Desaias and Erica Farrington. Good afternoon, Amanda and Erica.
Good afternoon.
Thanks, Yen. Good afternoon. As Yen said, my name is Amanda Desaias. Today, Eric and I are going to go over how SEO is relevant to agencies now that we've migrated to GOVHub. I'm a content strategist with the DSGA team.
And I am the outreach coordinator with the DSGA team.
Today, we'll briefly cover what exactly SEO is, how it's evolved over time, what makes up a search ranking, how you can consistently track and improve your performance, and then next steps to help get you started. So what exactly is SEO? I'm sure everyone has an idea of the basics, but let's define specifically what we're talking about so we're all kind of on the same page. A simplified dictionary definition that I liked was the process of maximizing the number of visitors to a particular website by ensuring that the site appears high on the list of results returned by a search engine. So we know that search engines use algorithms to determine the order in which results appear when a user types a query. So then organizations like private companies, media outlets, government entities determine which of those characteristics help their search ranking, and they then format content and adjust their technology accordingly. When it comes to SEO, government has unique advantages and challenges versus the private sector. So you might ask, why is SEO important? There are several reasons, but there are at least two that are the biggest considerations for government. So number one is visibility. For private companies, visibility means an edge over the competition and spending less on ad-generated traffic. But for Georgia state agencies, an average of 53% of traffic on GovHub comes from search, and 90% of that search comes from Google. You can have excellent, really helpful information on your website, but if people can't find it, it's useless. The second is shutting out imposters, and this one is really important. This is really prevalent for government in particular and major organizations. So lookalike sites, as Will and some other people had mentioned today, are often used to make money or collect personal information. So these are sites that are designed to look and function just like agency websites in order to get users to pay them money to do things like renew their driver's license or register a business. Or worse, it's just a way to collect and steal their personal data. So SEO becomes a way to make sure that constituents are only interacting with legitimate agency websites. SEO has evolved greatly over the last 20 years or so. As I said, search engines, particularly Google, continually refine their algorithm to show the best results. So meaning that what worked at one time doesn't necessarily work now. We've cycled through phases where it's about sort of gaming a system by loading up on search keywords, interlinking between sites, really fleshing out metadata, and we've ended up in a place where content relevance and quality is extremely important. Now, especially on GovHub, it's really about creating useful, relevant, readable content. So let's talk a little more about that by looking at what exactly goes into a search ranking. The short answer is no one really knows except for Google. Google's exact algorithm to determine search ranking is a famously guarded secret that depends on a myriad of factors. So they've published some official information about it, but a lot of it is still vague. But what we do know through research and testing is that some factors are consistently important. These are things like relevance to the original search query, readable content that's in plain language, non-repetitive content, load time, domain authority, or how old and trustworthy a site is, essentially. It's important to note that government websites are given a priority in the sense that they have better domain authority. Metadata, or the information that you can enter in on the back end to alter how results appear in search, though this is kind of less influential than before. The location of a user to an extent, the user's search history, ad buys that are taking place, whether by you or someone else, and a lot more. There are many other factors at play, and good SEO seeks to really balance them. The good news is that GOVHub has you covered. A lot of this is already baked into the GOVHub platform. These are things like domain authority, official government websites with the .gov automatically get like a boost on Google. Metadata is auto-populated on GOVHub. There are technical specs that are addressed like load time, security, mobile friendliness. They're already taken care of. So what you're really freed up to focus on is good content. And that's the best thing your agency can do to help your search rankings. What counts as good content then? Good content should be readable. As we've talked about today, it should adhere to plain language guidelines. You can learn more about that at plainlanguage.gov or through some of our content specialist training. You should strive for about a middle school reading level if possible. As has been mentioned, unless you have specialized audiences like attorneys, medical professionals, or engineers, but there are special ways that you can address that. Using simpler phrases, shorter sentences, eliminating adjectives and language flourishes wherever possible, absolutely breaking up those walls of text like we talked about. Big chunks of text are difficult to read, and you want to make content easily scannable. Good content is relevant. So you want to ask, what questions is your audience frequently asking? How do they phrase their searches specifically? What pages do they visit most often? Which topics are most popular? Where are you maybe losing them or not addressing issues? Are there any gaps in your content? You want to rely on analytics to help you answer and address these questions. So we'll talk a little bit more about that in a moment. And good content should be unique. You don't want to repeat the same language verbatim in several locations because that could actually hurt you. You want to think about how you can consolidate or customize information depending on its location in the site. You want to alter language to fit the audience or usage. You may need to deliver the same message to the media, a specialized audience, and the general public all at once, and it shouldn't be the same every time. You might also need to alter copy to fit different content types, so it's going to be different in a call to action than it will be in a press release or a topic page. Tailoring content is best practice, but it also helps with SEO. And of course, good content is error-free. One final point that I'd like to stress is that every search is different. I'll often be asked, well, I searched and the result is number 2, but this person searched and they say it's number 6. Where your site lands in search results is different for each person depending on all the factors we discussed, and it might be different for the same person at different times. And as I mentioned, you don't want to just track this manually. You want to systematically track what your audience is searching for and how you perform against that. You need to use tools to consistently research and monitor your rankings. So now I'm going to hand the presentation over to Erica to cover that in more detail.
Okay, thank you, Amanda. So now that you know more about what SEO is, how SEO has evolved, and why SEO is important to pay attention to, let's take a deeper look at the components that go into search engine optimization. So it's super easy to get caught up with what we call vanity metrics. These are metrics that appear to be impressive, but they do very little to provide insight into your website's performance. For example, 5,000 subscribers to a newsletter is impressive. However, if only 2 of those subscribers are active, how are the other 4,800 subscribers beneficial to you? There's nothing wrong with taking pride in measured success, but nuance and context are worth keeping in mind as you process analytical information. This is the SEO dashboard on Site Improved. As you can see in the middle gauge, it assigns a score based on the cumulative total from 4 categories: technical, content, user experience, and mobile. These components measure how well the user-facing and technical aspects of a site contribute to search engine optimization. Technical refers to the back end of the website and how well search engines can access, crawl, and index it. Content refers to how well visitor-facing content engages users and whether meta content is optimized for search engines and users. User experience is how effectively links, images, and other visual elements are used to improve the experience of visitors to the website. Mobile is how responsive and adaptive that the website is for mobile users. You can see a snapshot of the SEO score progress on the chart to the right to show the progress that you've made while addressing issues. There's a larger version of this chart at the bottom of the SEO dashboard page. As you scroll down on your SEO dashboard, you will see these two dialog boxes. Within the Fix Issues to improve your score, you are able to see the issue, difficulty level of the fix, which is based on the technical skill level that it will take, and the points that can be gained from fixing the issue completely. The Fixed Issues outlines all of the issues that have been resolved and how many points that have been added to the overall SEO score. Within both of these dialog boxes, you can click on an issue to get a more detailed overview. For example, if you click on See All Issues from the Fixed Issues column, you are able to go into the issues affecting the content portion of the SEO. This breaks down the issues in more bite-sized pieces, so you're able to see how many times the issue occurs site-wide, the difficulty level of the breakdown, the category that it falls within, and the points that you can earn. So, why is search performance really important? Even with a dedicated team that manages the website, it's nearly impossible to catch every single error. Using analytics is a great way to be more aware of what's going on the website and gain perspective on how a user sees your site. It is important to keep in mind that the experience is different for every visitor. For instance, a broken link may not be an issue for the majority of visitors, but it is for the audiences seeking specific information. Analytics are a great way to keep tabs on broken links, misspellings, and other issues that not only impact website performance, but user experience as well. Now that you've learned about SEO and how you can use it to make improvements on your site, here are some steps that you can take to implement SEO best practices. There are 3 big takeaways. SEO is more than numbers and keywords that give you a better ranking on Google. SEO is an indicator of your website's overall performance. Taking a proactive role with analytics will make your website more user-friendly and increase your web visibility. Tracking SEO is not only important for being aware of underlying website issues, but also for measuring success as well. The ability to track your progress in fixing issues can give you a visual representation of how close you are to completing goals that you have set for your website. And also, as Amanda said, good content equals great SEO. So what do you do next? Site Improve may seem daunting at first, but it's really easy to learn and understand once you log onto the dashboard and familiarize yourself with the tool. The website has excellent learning resources for questions that you have about what a particular widget does or providing more detail about website issues. If a full content makeover seems too daunting, pick your top 10 most visited pages and optimize your content. We also recommend attending our state-certified content specialist course to get more experience. Or you can put in a ticket to work with our team on customized recommendations. And of course, it's important to note that our support desk is always available to provide a helping hand as well. Our team is very familiar with how Site Improve works, and we are more than happy to help you.
Thanks. Yen, we're ready if there are any questions.
Oh, yeah. Okay, great. Thank you, Amanda and Erica. We have one question. Someone has asked, how do we find out what people are searching for and asking?
So there's a couple different ways to do that. As we've talked about, Site Improve is probably your most robust and useful tool. You can use different modules within Google Analytics, but also think about maybe some non-standard ways to track that. So if your agency is receiving a lot of emails or calls about a particular topic, and maybe they're searching for something that is not addressed or not easy to find, and think about how, especially if you have their email, what specific words and phrases they're using, because maybe you are addressing it, but you're not using the terminology that average constituents would use.
Great. Fantastic. Well, thank you all both so much for the presentation.